Hello everyone, this is Shannon from That's So Po, and today I'm doing my TBR for Trans Girl April, which is a readathon hosted by Kevvie at Say Kevvie and Willow at Books and Bow. I'll have information about the readathon linked below in case you're interested in participating too. I think it is such a great opportunity to just focus on some trans reads for April. There are quite a few prompts that are associated with this readathon, starting with Prompt 0, which is to denounce fascism and pledge your support for trans people across social media. So since basically YouTube is my social media, I want to definitely say, guys, I denounce fascism and definitely support all trans people. The other prompts for this readathon are focused around reading books by trans women, trans men, and non-binary people across fiction, nonfiction, and genre fiction. So there's kind of 9 reading prompts in total. I won't get to all of these, but my TBR today is going to focus on 5 books that I particularly want to prioritize, and then I actually have tons of other things checked out from the library, so we'll see what I end up reading by the end of the month. There are also a couple of group reads, so I'll have that information down below. I'm not planning on participating in those, but I think that if you're interested in those books and you want to pick them up and you have access to them, that's also a fun way to participate in Trans Girl April. So the first book on my TBR is Bad Girls by Camila Sosa Villada, translated from Spanish by Maude. So this is a book that I heard about from Freddie at Sluggish Reader, who I'll link below. He always has such interesting translated works on his radar. And this is a book about a young trans woman's coming of age story and kind of her finding community, but all of it with this sort of fantastical edge and magic and all sorts of things woven into it. The sound of this reminds me a lot of Kacen Thom's Fierce Femmes and Notorious Liars, which I loved. So I'm really interested in picking this up, and it satisfies the prompt of fiction by a trans woman. And then, speaking of Kacen Thom, the next book on my TBR is I Hope We Choose Love, which is her collection of essays and poetry talking about transformative justice and the ways that we deal as a social movement with issues of violence and harm. I really loved her other book, and so I just want to read more by her, and I've heard that this is such a good collection, so I'm really excited about this, and this satisfies the prompt of nonfiction by a trans woman. Next on my TBR is Light from Uncommon Stars by Ryka Aoki. This is a book that I have been wanting to reread since I read it last year, and it just was such a fantastic book. I love this book so much. It was one of my favorites of the whole year. And this year I'm trying to make extra space for rereads so that I get to experience some of those books that I loved and would just love to dive into again. And this is very much high on my list. This is basically a science fantasy that takes place in kind of modern day LA. And we follow 3 different women. One who is a violin prodigy. She is kind of a runaway from home. Her home was not a good place. And she's a trans girl, and she runs away and ends up being taken in by a violin teacher who happens to have made a deal with a demon to give the souls of 7 violin prodigies, and this is the 7th. And so we're following that. Well, also, this violin teacher ends up kind of getting to know and maybe fall in love with a woman who owns a local donut shop, who happens to be an alien who has, with her family, fled intergalactic war. So this book is just so much fun. It's got such a mix of science and fantasy, and it also has so much about food and all these other things. I love this story, and I just want to dive right back into it. This satisfies the prompt of genre fiction by a trans woman. Then, sticking with genre fiction, I've got World Running Down by Hess. This is a book that I heard about from Kevvie at Say Kevvie, and I was immediately intrigued because I'm always looking for more genre fiction. So this is a dystopian about a trans man who lives in this kind of wasteland version of America in the future. And he really wants to gain citizenship in Salt Lake City because this is this kind of utopia where you can get all the access that you need to medical care and food and housing and all these things. And he gets the opportunity to get citizenship if he goes down and tracks all of these stolen androids. But when he goes down and starts finding them, these androids don't really want to go back. They're sort of figuring out who they are and they want their freedom. And so he has to choose between sort of his dreams and their dreams. It sounds like it's such a cool premise, going to be lots of social commentary through genre fiction, which I love. So I'm very excited about this one, and this satisfies the prompts of genre fiction by a trans man. And then lastly, I have one more genre fiction, which is Bitter by Akwaeke Emezi. So this is the prequel to Pet, which I loved. I thought Pet was absolutely amazing. And I have been putting this on my TBR so many times, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but this time I really want to prioritize it because I want to try this. I've heard that it's a little bit heavier than Pet, which is I think why I keep struggling to pick it up. Pet was just very gentle, even though it was tackling heavy issues. This one sounds like it's going to be a little bit more intense. So this is about Jam, the main character of Pet, about her mom. And her mom, Bitter, is an artist, and this is about Bitter's experience in high school, where basically the world around her was very, very unjust. And she really just wanted to concentrate on her art, but as the revolution starts around her, she has to kind of figure out, should she participate, and if so, what is her role as an artist? So it sounds like it's going to have some really interesting social themes in this, and the world that is created in this series is also very interesting. So I'm hoping that this will hit just as well with me as Pat did, and this satisfies the prompt of genre fiction by a non-binary author. Okay, so those are the 5 books that I want to prioritize for Trans Girl April, although again, there are so many other books that I have checked out, so we'll see what I end up reading by the end of the month, but I really want to try to get to these. If you guys have read any of these, I would love to hear your thoughts as well, or if you're participating in Trans Girl April, I'd love to hear what's on your TBR, or if there's any books that you've read that you think, oh, for sure, you need to pick this up, it's super good. I'd love to hear from you. Just leave me a comment down below.